What up, what up, what up? What it is, what it do? How y'all feeling? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you tuning in from, I do appreciate it. Welcome to Al You Bugging. I am your host, Alan C. In a place to be. As you see on the ticker, follow Al You Bugging on X and Instagram at Al_you_bugging. All right, let's kick this off on Thursday night. The Cowboys defeated the Giants after taking a massive L to the Ravens. The Cowboys beat the Giants 25-20. Um, they bounced back. Cowboys win their 13th straight time against the Giants. So Dak has been very dominant against the Giants. I don't think he's ever lost to them, and he might have lost to them when they back when he was a young lad. But 13 straight, that's damn near 7 years of playing the Giants that they won. And Dak was amazing. Dak had 221 yards and 2 TDs, no turnovers. CeeDee Lamb had 7 catches and 98 yards. However, not all good news, or not everything was good news for the Cowboys, as they lost both of their edge rushers. Micah suffered a high ankle sprain. He's expected to miss a game or two. And DeMarcus Lawrence has a foot injury. He's going to be out at least a month. So, quick recovery for both of those players, to say the least. The Giants, however, they did fight hard in this game. Danny Dimes had 281 yards, and Malik Neighbors had 115 of those 281. So the young boy is finally catching on, and they're giving him an opportunity, and he is answering the bell every single time. So shout out to Malik. I thought him and Marvin Harrison were the best 2 wide receivers clearly in this draft, and I had the inkling that Malik Neighbors could be probably better than Maserati Marv. But shout out to Marv, and shout out to Malik Neighbors for coming in, and it's only his 4th game with Danny Dimes, and he's putting up numbers. But back to the Cowboys. I think with the Cowboys losing both of their edge rushers, this defense was already weak, as the Ravens and the Saints proved 2 weeks in a row. You can run on them. Now, with you being able to run on them, with their 2 edge rushers out, you might be able to pass on them now because you got a little bit more time back there in the pocket against them. So, this is really going to hurt for the next month for the Cowboys. And speaking of being able to run on the Cowboys, Sunday Night Football, your Buffalo Bills versus my Baltimore Ravens. What else needs to be said, man? It's a high marquee quarterback game. This game is prime time. Josh Allen, who is my pick and has been one of my picks for MVP this year, since early on. And he's looking amazing. And you got the 2-time reigning 2-time MVP, Lamar Jackson, on the other sideline. So just look forward to seeing both of these guys go off. I like both of these quarterbacks. Let's start with the injury report. Jalen Armour-Davis is out. He's been ruled out. Voorhees has a practice all week and is a game time decision. They are officially listing Linderbaum as questionable, but he did have a full participation practice on Friday, so he's probably a game time decision as well. But my guess is that he's going to play. For the Buffalo Bills, Tyron Johnson is out, and Terrell Bernard is out. All right. And in the battle of the quarterbacks, like I said, man, you got 2 top 4 quarterbacks in the NFL. They ain't going to be on the field, but they are the most important players on their team by far. The team goes as they go. And Lamar has to play a great game for this game to be. Um, Lamar has to play great for the Ravens to have a shot in this game, and so does Josh Allen. Josh Allen has to play amazing for the Bills to have a shot. They both teams literally go as their quarterbacks go. Um, However, I feel like the Bills are built from offensively speaking, they're built from the inside out, meaning they have very strong tight end play. They have running backs. They're not too good. They're not too proven on the outside receivers. Their best receiver is the slot Shakir. You got young rookie Keon Coleman on one side. So I would go ahead and match him up with the young rookie Nate. They played ACC football for the last 3 years together. If Clemson taking on Florida State, so just match them up. They're used to matching up anyway. You need Kyle Hamilton to play either the running back leaking out or to play the tight ends, because again they have Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid. Both of those tight ends are very efficient in the passing game. You have Eddie Jackson covering one of those tight ends as well. We brought in Eddie Jackson. He's been playing well this year. So you have him cover one of the tight ends. How I would use Roquan, I will match Roquan up with Josh Allen and have him spy. And you want to keep Josh Allen in the pocket. The Bills have played against 3 fairly weaker teams in the NFL, but they did look good in their last 2. Like the game was over by halftime in their last 2 games. They beat the Dolphins, and the game was over before Tua went out, and they beat the Jaguars, and that game was over at halftime. So, yeah, they played 2 weaker teams, but they disposed of those 2 weaker teams quite easily. So the Ravens are better than both of those teams, in my opinion. But you got to play the games. It ain't a 2D game. It's a 3D game. You can't just put the names on paper. So hopefully, you do what you do when they don't get a chance to take off on y'all on the halftime. But I do have the Ravens winning this game. Very close matchup. I'm gonna go with, and it's tough to say because he hasn't been Justin Tucker lately. But I'm gonna go with Justin Tucker takes the field goal and give them the win 24-21. All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and take care of these power rankings for this week. All right, so bottom tier. Eventually, this is going to be called On the Clock, but this is your bottom tier, 32. I did move the Colts and the Panthers off the bottom, but this is pretty much your bottom tier here. Not too many surprising teams here. That next class, they kind of on a rise, as this tier will be called later on in the season. You got your Raiders, who got shellacked by the Panthers last week. We see that they couldn't handle the success of, beating a team that was kind of a down to earth game. I did move the Commanders up for that beautiful game against the Bengals. I did move the Chargers back, and they appear to be falling some more with, missing Bosa for some time, missing Slater and Alt, missing Herbert. So they could possibly be sliding. All right. This team, they kind of These teams, their season is in the balance. They're kind of like on the bubble, as I would name these. Um, the Dolphins don't know who they're starting at quarterback this week, but Tua is still out. Um, the Rams, the Steelers. Rams is hurt. Steelers. Mike Tomlin's doing a hell of a job at coaching. So I got them making the playoffs, but I do not believe that they are as good as their record may suggest, but their defense definitely is. The Cowboys, 13th, again, they probably could be falling. Again, you never know where the season could go on this one. Buccaneers might be a little bit too high. Not quite sure what to make of them. And the Packers may be too low, actually, outside that top 10. But we'll see. We'll figure it out. They did get a good win with Malik Willis last week. So we'll figure that one out. All right, y'all, the top 10. These are, your top 10 teams. Sorry about that. In the NFL, number 10, I got the Seahawks. Number 9, the Vikings. Number 8, the Jets. Number 7, Texans. Number 6, the Ravens. And then your top 5 is the 49ers, who could possibly be dropping. Like I said, they are hurt. The Eagles are definitely hurt. They could be dropping. So they're number 4. And the top 3 teams are your Lions. Kansas City Chiefs, I moved down to 2, and Buffalo is number 1. Again, both teams are 3-0. Kansas City won 2 close games, and Buffalo won 2 blowout games. That's why I put Buffalo number 1. I know. It's just what I see. I think if they played each other, Buffalo might have the upper hand over the Chiefs. Chiefs haven't looked well. Buffalo's been clicking on all cylinders. I think if Buffalo might have the upper hand on the Chiefs if they played each other right now. All right, y'all. What are you watching? Again, these are the games that I want to highlight at each time slot this week. The 1 o'clock game puts the Vikings against the Packers. The division rival, undefeated Vikings taking on the Packers. So you got Justin Jefferson matching up with Jair Alexander. Always a fun matchup. Always good to watch these 2 young guys go at it. And then you got, former Packer Aaron Jones is now Minnesota Viking. And you have the current Green Bay Packer running back Josh Jacobs has been playing very well. So that's a matchup right there. Also, Brian Flores has had the Vikings defense playing lights out. And he's done his job confusing a lot of teams. So if they got Jordan Love out there or if they got Malik Willis, they're going to have a young quarterback trying to figure out this defense. 4 o'clock, you got the Chargers. You got another divisional matchup as the Chargers take on the Chiefs. It's always a good matchup, but I think this week the Chargers are a little bit above their skis as everybody is pretty much hurt, and Derwin James is going to be suspended for a game. But again, I'm not too sure how this game is going to go. It's a divisional game, but I'm picking the Chiefs on this one. And then, your Monday Night Football, you got the Seahawks taking on the Lions. That's your Monday Night Football game. Yeah, you got 2 this week as well. Of course, we already talked about the 8 o'clock game was Buffalo and the Ravens. Seahawks coming to Detroit. Detroit may be down some linemen. And Seahawks defense has been playing very well. So this game should be a good matchup. I'm picking, might be a little biased, but I'm picking Seattle to win this one, to go to 4-0. Goff hasn't looked too great this year. And again, like I said, playing against this defense, missing some linemen, I think Seattle got a chance to get the Lions this week. And then, your other Monday Night Football game, ain't too much to talk about. Titans are playing the Dolphins. Might be a snooze fest. We don't know what quarterback is playing for the Dolphins. And Will Levis has not played well at all for the Titans. So this might be a snooze fest. But I got the Dolphins winning this one. Hopefully we get to see Huntley. Huntley is a dynamic running quarterback. Played in Baltimore for the last few years. And, he'll probably bring some type of excitement into this game. All right, y'all. My weekly picks. My locked in last week was 0-4. So these is basically how wrong can Al be. Al, you definitely bugging with these picks. That's what I'm about to name this damn segment. Lord. But I got Houston, who's taking on the Jaguars. I'm picking them. You can lock that in. Guaranteed victory for Houston, bouncing back against the Vikings. I got Pittsburgh taking on the young Colts. I got that defense confusing the hell out of Anthony Richardson. So I'm going with Pittsburgh in this one. And then the Bengals was 0-3. They're taking on the 1-2 Carolina Panthers. I got them getting their first win this year, moving to 1-3. All right, my upset alert. I'm not picking the win, but upset could be brewing. Cardinals versus the Commanders. I'm giving the Cardinals a shot because just like we've seen with the Raiders, bad teams don't know how to handle prosperity. And with the Commanders coming in and winning a huge game against Cincinnati, a close game, a well-fought game against Cincinnati, can they bounce? Can they do the same thing twice and beat the Cardinals team? We'll find out. And lastly, the New England Patriots going to San Francisco, or playing San Francisco rather. San Francisco is hurt. You might be getting Debo back, but a lot of pieces are out for San Francisco. And Brandon Ayuk missing camp has not looked good thus far this year. Patriots is a fighting team. They're fight. You give them a chance, they're going to go ahead and take advantage of it with Jacoby Brissett. So we'll see. I'm not picking them to win, but I'm picking the upset. Just putting them on alert. All right. Here are my picks. Like we said, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Houston. You can lock that in. The upset alert that I'm picking to happen is Arizona beating Washington. But you can see the rest of the picks there. New Orleans, Rams, Minnesota, Jets, Tampa Bay, Vegas, Kansas City, and Baltimore. All right. And we got college football this weekend. Some good games coming on Saturday. We got Oklahoma State, number 20, Oklahoma State versus number 23, Kansas State. Big 12 matchup. So this is coming on at 12 Eastern. And then you have Louisville versus Notre Dame, number 15 Louisville versus number 16 Notre Dame at 3:30. And then after that game, prime time, you got Georgia versus Alabama. Can't wait to see that. It's always a great game. Potential SEC championship game. Number 2 Georgia versus number 4 Alabama. And then number 9, Penn State versus number 19, Illinois, also at 7:30. So I'm probably have both of those games on. Get to enjoy some college football this weekend. So to name your top 12 teams this week, coming into the week, you got number 1, Texas, number 2, Georgia, number 3, Ohio State, number 4, Alabama, number 5 is Tennessee, number 6 is Ole Miss, number 7 is Miami, 8 is Oregon, 9 is Penn State, 10 is Utah, 11 is Missouri, 12 is Michigan. That's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, half your top 12 is SEC. Still the greatest conference in the world. All right, y'all. That's been my 20 minutes. Again, continue following, continue to grow this channel. Follow Al U Buggin on Instagram at Al_U_Buggin. Be blessed, be productive, be more. I love you. I am out of here.